What is going on, YouTube? I got a little bit of a trim. Needed a little bit of a break from the big beard. So, what are we doing today? Well, we're working on Jamie's car. Today, what we're gonna try to do is get the motor out of the car. So let me go over Jamie's car quick. So this is a AP1. It is a built motor. You guys can go back a couple videos ago. We did do some diagnostics on this, and come to find out it was hurt pretty bad. Every cylinder is scuffed up pretty good. Turbocharged setup, AEM car. We tried remote tuning it, and I could tell something was wrong. So he ended up bringing it to me, did some diagnostics, found that the motor was blown up. So we are pulling the motor, and this is going to be our winter customer build. Last year was Dylan's S2000, and this year is going to be Jamie. So I believe I'm not sure what he's going with. I believe it's going to be an F24. I think this is I'm not sure if this is a 24 or a 2.0. I forget. We'll find out when we get in there. But anyways, we're going to make this thing run again. Hopefully by springtime, depending on what parts he wants and how long the wait times are on pistons and stuff like that. We shouldn't have any issues getting it running by spring. So we are going to pull the motor out today. Again, with motor pulling, pretty much start with the turbo side, get all the hot stuff off, get the cold stuff off. Then I will take all the hoses and wire harnesses, set them off to the side, disconnect fuel lines, fuel injectors, rail. Then we'll work on the valve cover, and we'll expose the cylinder head at that point. I'm going to end up pulling the head and intake off like I did with my car. That will give us some more room around the transmission to get the transmission disconnected and ultimately pull the motor out of the car. So it's going to be a lot of time lapse on this video. I'm not going to go over a ton of stuff on how to get a motor out of an S2000 because I've already done that, and again, it's pretty straightforward. So if I run into any hiccups or find anything crazy, I will zoom in and show you guys that. If not, let's time lapse this deal, and we will have a motor out in no time. Well, it'll be fast for you, not so fast for me. So he has the exact same turbo kit as Dylan had, which massive pain. I mean, these turbo kits are so tight, and wastegate's so tight. Look at how close the turbo is to the crossbar. Just not a big fan of these turbo kits, and it's back. I gotta do this style turbo kit on another customer car. Tell you what, Jason's manifold is so much easier to get to. So this, I'm gonna have to remove the VTEC solenoid, probably the TCT. Gonna need to remove the oil filter just to get this manifold out. And with Jason's, comes right out, no problem. So yeah, fun. I'll bring you guys in real quick, see where we're at. Turbo's kit's off, cam towers are off, cams are out. Everything looks decent on the head. I checked all the VTEC and roller bearing pins, everything looks good. Cams look okay, they got some oxidation stuff on them, which I might try to clean it with some Scratch Brite or emery cloth on those. But everything looks pretty good, even the wear marks on the cams look good. We also pulled out the VTEC solenoid, and a telltale sign if you got a bearing is you'll see material in there And that all looks good as well. So everything looks good. I don't think we have any bearing issues, which means the block will be good to go. The crank should be reusable and all that good stuff. So we're going to continue. I'm gonna get all the fuel lines disconnected, the rest of the hoses disconnected, and then this head will be coming out.
Would you look at this?
Yeah, well.
Would you look at that?
Yeah, there's a few more blemishes on the car.
Oh my gosh, just look at it.
The car is not perfect.
Just look at it. Just look at it.
Yeah, well.
What the heck is that?
All right, it's time to pull the head. Oh, I almost forgot something. Almost forgot the Allens. Need to make sure you get these guys when they are not. So let's jump in here. Usually grab a port, because these ports are super slimy. Alright, that. Sheesh, that seems on there. Oh, the studs are off. Holy mackerel. That seems on there. Super glues the hell out of it. We're just going to use there's nothing else holding it. Man, that is on there, guys. There we go. There's going to be some water. She's up. Whew. Had a slippery port on the one side. Dang. I was holding on to her there. She is out. And these pistons are mutilated. Really mutilated, you guys. Looking at our borescope, but now we get a real clear picture of what's happened. Zoom in so you can see it's not good. It's not good at all. Yep. So this is a FRM build, so it's factory sleeves. As you can see, it's not steel sleeves, but yeah, cylinders are wrecked. So you can't use normal pistons for these builds. The normal forged pistons you typically use swell up a lot more. So there's two kinds of material, and you have to use the harder material on these builds because these pistons will swell up and do that. Now, I'm not saying that these are the right or wrong pistons. We have to get them out and see what they are. But for that to happen, the piston swelled and it rubbed on the cylinder. I mean, that's just plain and simple. That's what happened. Now, pistons can swell for different reasons. If your piston to wall clearance is not enough and the pistons swell beyond that point, they will scrape your cylinder walls. That's pretty obvious. If you do have the correct piston to wall from your builder, but your tune is off, so you have crazy high EGTs, high cylinder temperatures, running a lean condition, running a lot of timing or whatnot with the wrong kind of gas for the amount of power that you're trying to run, the pistons will see a lot of heat, they will grow, and they will do the same thing. So we're not really sure what caused it. I will, when I get them out, I can measure the clearances and see what they seem like they were and kind of go from there. But I'm willing to bet the tune was off or he tried to run too much boost on not good enough fuel, or it ran out of fuel and got really lean and really hot and the piston swelled up. So, and it's kind of evident to me that since every cylinder did it, most likely just wasn't a problem with one cylinder or the other. They all did it. So Even they all were too close piston to wall clearance from the builder, or the build was fine and the tune messed up this car. So what's next is gonna get real dirty. So I have to undo all the hoses, get the starter out, and get the transmission pulled from the block in order to get the block out. This is the part I don't like. I hate messing with the transmission and getting out all undone. I'm on my back, I'm underneath the car. I don't mind doing the motor work, that's pretty easy, but this stuff kind of gets dirty and kind of gets messy. All right, so we got most of the transmission bolts underneath the car done. That's kind of boring to watch. I didn't really film that. I'll show you guys how I pull my motors so you guys know that I always take the head off first. I believe it's easier. And then what I do is I kept some factory head bolts, and I draw those into the rear and the front, and I run this chain, and that's my pickup points. And then what I typically do is I loosen your main nut, and then I loosen all four, and I usually and then I hang it, and then I take these completely off because it gives me a lot of wiggle room front, back, side to side to try to wiggle it off the input shaft. So what I'm going to attempt today is actually kind of leave the trans where it's at. I have it supported with my trans mount right now, and I'm just going to basically try to loosen everything up. And I just got those top two bolts left. Take those out, wiggle this motor off the trans, see if that works. If I'm having issues, I'll just go ahead, go underneath the car, take the transmission off, and then take the motor out. We are out. Looks like they tried painting it at some point. I never really suggest trying that. It doesn't really work unless you do a really good prep job, but looks like there's a lot of cool little artifacts we're finding. So yeah, really dirty. Once I get on the stand, I'm going to pressure wash it off pretty good. I'm not sure what clutch this is. It's a black pressure plate. It's definitely a puck clutch. I'm not sure. I also see some material sitting down in there. I don't know if that's I think that's the throwout bearing coming apart. So probably gonna need a new throwout bearing. But it also looks like somebody really struggled bad at some point. Look at all those dig marks trying to get this trans off. That wasn't me. I didn't pry at all, so somebody was struggling. But anyways, she's off. And honestly, that's about the hardest part, is just getting the motor out. And honestly, getting it off the trans is like the hardest part. That actually didn't go too bad. That went pretty quick. So we're gonna go ahead and get the motor on the stand, and it's full of snow outside, but I might still try to do a little pressure wash job. We'll see here. We'll see what time it is getting to be. I might wrap things up, but we do have the motor out. I'm gonna have to go to my garage. I do have my stand, but I don't have my oil catcher. So I'm gonna have to get that before we really start tearing into this motor. But we are getting close to tearing into the motor. So we got some bad news, guys. That's not good. That's micro welding, and it's really bad. I have never seen it that bad. I've seen it like, well, honestly, there's really no example of what I've seen. I've seen it like slight. I mean, that's not even slight. That's really deep. But I've seen a slight micro weld here and there. But I mean, this entire area is just completely trashed. Pilot bearings froze up. This is all micro welded. Some of these flywheel bolts are completely no material left on them. What I think is that something loosened up on the flywheel. It started rattling around. It micro welded itself, and yeah, not good. So this crank is trash. You can't reuse cranks that are like this. So the crank's gonna be trash. It's gonna be up to him if he wants to stay to a 2.0 or if he wants to go to a 2.4. But this crank is no good. The block will be fine, but this crank is bad. So that's unfortunate. All right, so I take care of my customers. Both these bolt holes were pretty mangled, but they were savable. So what we're doing now is we're just retapping the threads. We blew them out, we cleaned them. I pulled a bunch of threads out of this guy. So whoever has previously put the bolts into the trans, put them in all crappy. So we're cleaning these threads up, trying to get this block, save the block, trying to get it to go as long as you can without helicoing everything. So we're hitting some harder spots there, as you can see, and there we're bottomed out. So real simple stuff, guys. Just take care of your stuff, you know. Just running a tap down a hole, clean up those threads so your future assemblies and deassemblies go good, you know. Here we go. See, we're gonna pull a bunch of junk out. So as you can see, all that junk that was down there. So we're gonna flush that out again. We flush it out with a brake cleaner. And I blow my tap off. So we're gonna go ahead and run brake cleaner through there. Cover it up. See all the crap that came out, including my straw. This one's almost out. There we go. And then we're gonna take our air and we'll just do the same thing, but with air. Here we go, nice shiny thread. Look at that. We did the same thing to this guy over here. Looking good. So now our bolts should go right in with ease. All the way flush, that's what we need. So these bolts weren't even going all the way flush because they had so much mangled threads down there. So again, just one more little extra thing you can do, take care of your blocks. You know, make sure all your threads are good. And I do that on just about everything if I feel some nasty threads. Well, that's pretty much gonna do it for today, guys. We're gonna tear this sucker down real soon, but I'm gonna take a break. It was a long day, gotta get some food. Again, guys, appreciate the support. Comment, like, subscribe if you like what you're watching, and I will be back here next weekend. Later.